Okay, we're on our way to Asolo right now. We're going to go up to the town of Asolo. You're in for a treat, let me tell you. We're going to turn right over here and we're going to start the hill. This is one of 7 hills that go up to Asolo. Each one has a completely different character. Each one has a completely different degree of difficulty. This is actually probably the easiest one. From where we started, where we turn right to the top, is about 2.5 kilometers. The top is actually at the piazza in the center of town. This, however, was the hill that was done on the 14th stage of the Giro d'Italia 2010. You wouldn't believe the amount of people that were lining this. You see the pink cord here on the right, and there's a lot of pink that the people hang different things of pink color everywhere the Giro goes. Here come a couple of cyclists coming down. Asolo, one of the characteristics of this particular climb, which is called Foresto Nuovo, New Forest, is this. It actually goes through a forest, so there's a lot of foliage and there are a lot of trees. And in the summertime, when it is really, really warm, it's nice here because you have a temperature change of about 2-3 degrees, and it's cooler, which, you know, when you're going up, that makes a big difference. As we're making this left here, it actually gets a little bit more difficult. As you will see now, the degree of difficulty increases a little bit. We might be at somewhere around 7-8% right now, and descending it is a breeze. I've actually tried a few times to make this descent almost hands-free, and if it wasn't because of the fear of incoming cars, the turns are wide enough that it can be done. Actually, I had a friend of mine, professional, a few years back. His name is Dorino Vanzo, and this used to be his training ground. This guy literally, and we're talking about now the early 80s. He was a professional then. He rode as a pro for about 13 years. Did tours and Giros, and very, very prolific pro career. But he used to go up this climb dragging a cart full of bricks. Then his brother would wait for him at the top. They would hook the cart to his brother's car, come back down. They would meet again, and he would ride up again, following his brother, but dragging the cart full of bricks. And believe me, this guy was an excellent climber. That was actually his strong point. He was a very, very good climber. Well, we're coming to the top of the climb. Actually, it begins to flatten out here, and here's where we're entering the town of Asolo. Beautiful, beautiful place. Actually, Asolo dates back to more than 2,000 years ago. Now something really peculiar is we're stopping at a light because the street going in and out of the town is so narrow that cars can only go in one direction. So we have to stop here while the light changes. See, now we got cars coming down, and once the light changes, that means that all of the cars coming down have been stopped at the piazza, the center of town, and would allow us to go up. Streets are very, very narrow, and the town of Asolo, I don't know if we were able to take a shot of the Rocca di Asolo, which is a castle that sits at the top of Asolo. But from that castle, the walls come out and they surround the town, and about 5,000 people live within those walls right now. There are more people living in the outlying areas, obviously, but there's 5,000 people that actually live within the mure, which they call the mure, the walls. Here we're going to be turning right. As you can see, traffic is not flows really, really well in Asolo, but again, that's one of the things that make it extremely peculiar. There's a fountain that you're going to see right there, and I have stopped here literally thousands of times to get water. And it has, to me, it has the most delicious water in the Veneto region. All along the right-hand side, there's shops and there's restaurants and little enotecas or wine places, and it's actually quite nice to walk around Asolo. As a matter of fact, on weekends, particularly on Sunday, many local people from other towns nearby come to Asolo to do passeggiata. Passeggiata is actually to just walk around. We're in the Piazza Garibaldi, which is the center of town. To my right is the Caffè Centrale, which today is a Tuesday and it is closed, but it's definitely the heart of the town. Great place to come and have some coffee. Also a great place to have some gelato, and or just sit around and read the paper. Actually, read the Gazzetta dello Sport, which is the paper that has all the sports. We're taking one of the little streets in Asolo, and if we were to go straight, we would go down and out of Asolo. To our right is a little wine place, and right here is my favorite restaurant, Caderton, which is owned by a family. Right in front of us we have the Castello della Regina Cornaro, and this was the castle of the Queen Cornaro, and actually was the first was the place that became made Asolo very popular, because this lady, who was the daughter of a doge in Venice, married a king, and then the king died, and her father, when she came back, her father sent her to Asolo, built her a castle and sent her here, and then it became famous because everybody wanted to come over here because of the social life that she created around herself. Again, we're come back, and now we've actually done a little tour of the town, and we're going to be coming back down. But we're going to come in another direction. Actually, we'll descend in another direction, which will be the Salita dell'Ospedale, and it's called the climb of the hospital, because there's a hospital. We're going to be going by a hospital, and that's a known landmark right there. We can actually take one of the little streets in Asolo here. I'll show you what the streets here are like, and I'm going to have to put the microphone down because driving through here is actually a bit of a challenge. This is one of the streets, and there we go. We just passed on the left a little restaurant. You got to be very mindful of the rear view mirrors here, because in many cases, if you're not careful, you brush them against the rocks here. This is actually part of that wall that I was telling you that comes down from the castle. For many years, I lived here in Asolo, and since I lived on a third floor, I didn't want to carry my bike up and down every time, so I used to leave him here, and right at this door where this young lady's at, which is the house that belongs to the electrician in town. Right in front of us is the house that belongs to a friend of ours, which is Marta, and she's the owner of Gaerne, the shoe factory that makes excellent cycling shoes. We're coming down the side street here. This is called Pietro Bembo, is the name of the street. And as we're coming down the street, I'm going by where I used to live, and this brings us right back down to the street where we first came into Asolo.